Today I'm going to do a quick review of an RTD that I made at my last job. This one is from January 4th, 2022, so a little over 2.5 years ago. So this was on a run on a wild goose. It's about a 30 barrel batch, and I'm gonna open it up and see how it is. So my name is Jason. I'm a professional distiller based in Miami, Florida, and yeah, this is my first 12-ounce RTD that I made. This is a Bourbon and Cola. So this is based on the Burnside Bourbon line. When I was working at Eastside Distilling, we were looking at RTDs for expanding our SKUs, and this is one of the ones I came up with. So it's 12% ABV, which I think it's a little high. So if I was remaking this again, I'd put it down around 7%, which is where you'll find the Jack Daniels and Cola, Coca-Cola RTD, and I think that's kind of like the perfect spot for this particular one. But wasn't really my choice. Everyone was saying like didn't taste like whiskey, didn't have enough whiskey in it, but yeah, kind of got overrode on that one. Yeah, I ended up actually writing most of the copy on this and the 4-pack box, much to my chagrin. Fortunately, I have an English degree, so I can write stuff. And I remember being like a little bit irked that I had to write it. So we did this bourbon and cola, and we did bourbon honey lemonade. And then for the little copy on there, I did it in this kind of like the style of a haiku. So this one is classic bourbon cola, made new on the Oregon Oak Savannah. And if you stretch Oregon into 3 syllables, it kind of works as a haiku, the 575. So I know it's not like a true haiku, but still, it still makes me laugh. So yeah, I'm gonna crack this one open. So again, this one's actually one of the sample cases that we kept for quality control, and it's been in a refrigerator for the last 2.5+ years. Just looking on the outside, so this is a bright can, which is dented. I don't know if I did that or if it's just the way the can was, and it's a label that's applied to it. And the label has several bubbles. There's one, probably doesn't show up well on the camera, but there's one right there, the one right there. This one's pretty bad. And I noticed, I'm like on vacation now, so I was been drinking through a couple of these and noticed basically they all have that sort of thing. So I don't know if it was, this was from like the beginning of a run, set from 10:50 in the morning, so yeah, it shouldn't really be that. Knowing the way the run was going, it's probably started late, so it's probably early on in the run. So yeah, I'm gonna open it up. Again, the outside doesn't look that great. These labels didn't stick on too well. Pretty much when I'm doing RTDs now, when I'm designing them, I'm gonna go for a digitally printed can, because with these labels on, these are not recyclable, these cans. So you have to actually peel the labels off and then recycle them. But yeah, they won't be accepted like this. But the digitally printed cans are recyclable, and they'll just take them. So yeah, but now I'm gonna open it, and I'm gonna pour this into a glass and see how this looks. So first of all, let's hear it. Okay. Had good carbonation. So this was canned on a Wild Goose canning line, and so that's an open canning line. So we're kind of limited on the volume of CO2 that you can have in there. Like 3 volumes is pretty much the max that you can still run pretty well. A little over 3 you can get out of it. I think this ended up at like somewhere at 2.5, 2.8 volumes, if I remember correctly. in order to get it to run well. So I'm gonna pour some out here. So as you might be able to tell, I did use some caramel coloring in there. Normally I'm not a huge fan of colorings, but yeah, this is like a traditional thing. So again, with 12% alcohol, you shouldn't really be worried about what the ingredients are in there. So let's give this a try. It's got, let's see, the bubbles looking pretty good. Let's taste this. Yeah, so pretty boozy. I'd probably adjust the cola flavoring up a little bit. Yeah, have a really good cola flavoring from Allen Flavors that I really liked. They have several different ones. Actually, I can't remember if I used a single one or if I blended them, but it is a little boozy. I think the sugar in this is about 75 grams per liter. I find that to be for my personal sweet spot. Yeah. Didn't really mean to make that pun, but literally sweet spot. Right around there. Could have gone, actually might be a little bit higher because the alcohol is higher on this one. Normally now I target my RTDs at around 7%. And then I find that 75 grams per liter is total sugar. So if it's fruit based, then part of that fruit juice will count towards the sugar content. So, but yeah. So for a cola, I'd say the carbonation is a little bit underwhelming. So again, a place like Jack Daniel's, when they run their Jack and Cola RTDs, they probably have a counter pressure filling system, so you can actually reach those cola carbonation levels. So usually when I have those, it's a little bit better. Their ones are pretty good, and I really like the zero sugar one from Jack Daniel's. They do that really well. I did make a version of this that was zero sugar as well, but because powers that be wanted it at 12% just to get that a punchy whiskey flavor out of it. Kind of blew the calorie count out of the water, so I didn't really need to do 0 calorie or 0 sugar. But I do have versions of this with using stevia, so 0 sugar, and they're pretty good. Probably could have gone a little bit darker because this is just a Collins glass, and it's you can see it's pretty amber. You can see through it. See my fingers through it. Probably go a little bit darker, but again, back at that time, I was a little bit more reticent to put in caramel coloring. Don't know why. Now it's just kind of a matter of what's going to work for the product. So. Yeah, even after 2.5 years, it's still pretty good. Again, a little low on the carbonation. I personally probably bump the sweetness down, and then I would take the sugar or the alcohol level down for sure. Bump up a little color in that, and then yeah, that's probably how I'd remake this one. And use a cheaper whiskey. Actually, making this with a really high corn whiskey, a 99% corn whiskey, really good. I made a couple versions of that, and the whiskey really popped. I think I had an MGPI Kentucky whiskey. It was 5 years old. Probably couldn't make the cogs work, but maybe I had a younger version of that. It's really punchy, but really make that whiskey come through even at 7%. So yeah, let me know if you've tried the Jack and Cola RTD, or if you have any other experience with the other whiskey and cola RTDs out there, and leave that down in the comments down below, and I will see you later.